Hello, welcome back to X-Men Classics. In this episode, we're covering three more issues of the series in Penny X-Men. Well, issues that came out in the 60s. Right now, we're in the Roy Thomas run. And in this episode, we're covering issues 24 through 26. Here's the cover for issue 24. 24 is simply just, it's called Plague of the Locust. I will review my thoughts after reviewing all three books. Simply put, this book picks up not long after the events of the previous issue. They end the previous issue where Jean Grey has to go to college now because she's graduated from the X-Men, so why not? So she just packing up her things, go to college. Oh, besides the fact noteworthy that we got a new villain in the form of Locust, which I'll reveal more about him in a minute. I mean, she goes off to Metro College, I think it is. Yeah, it's a college that's close by. And it's mentioned that at this college, Johnny Storm goes there. So Scott and Warren drop her off. She gets sort of a new love interest, which goes nowhere, with Ted Roberts. Yeah, and of course we get the debut appearance of the Locust. Who he is, I'll review in a minute. He's a really bizarre villain, but he's more interesting than, let's say, the villain of the next two issues. Yeah, it's like these three set of issues are just really bizarre. It's like you see Locust going around, the cops are bizarre, the X-Men do some training exercise. No, X-Men has to go out in their fancy X-Chopper. And they take on Locust. Lots of Locusts. They spend most of the issue fighting Locust. And of course, cuts back to Jean at her college. Of course, they note that this is not Johnny Storm and Wyatt Blackfoot. This is just fooling you, but they're in the Himalayas. Yeah. And of course, everybody's getting around. And of course, this is one guy named August Hooper. And this is his debut appearance in the issue when he's not in costume. He is the Locust, by the way. Yes. And he is supposedly a former professor. He's someone who actually is a teacher of Jean Grey. He just does what he can with his Locust experiments. I mean, the book is kind of interesting, yes, to say the least. And Professor Xavier goes to visit the former plant that that Hooper works at. Of course, he's not there. Looks around, sees some stuff, and leaves. The reason I'm not really excited about this issue because it's a really kind of boring issue, to say the least. Yeah, and of course, the X-Men later fight the Locusts in person. They fight a bunch of bugs, and of course, they all get defeated. And of course, the army comes out with flamethrowers, battle these giant Locusts. And of course, this strange guy, who revealed who actually really is. And of course, they all fight Locusts again. And these bugs take his van, which has his equipment, over the cliff. Then they convince him this thing is an error. He tosses his remaining equipment over the cliff, and he's supposed to never seen it again. Despite the fact he has to return 20 years later in the page of X-Factor. Turns out that this old guy is just Charles Xavier. Next up is 25 and 26. It's a two-parter, so yeah. Featuring the menace of El Tiger, a Spanish villain. And no, as far as I know, after these two issues, this guy never appears again. Yep. And the book basically opens up with, of course, Jean goes out to help them in the previous issue. Of course, they do some heroic stuff instead of training. Instead of opening with the training, that's a bit unusual, yes. And yeah, do lots of heroics, saving firefighters, switch their suits. Jean goes back to college. And of course, cuts to some place in Mexico where this pennant, and of course, this guy who happens to be the leader of the expedition, he brainwashes his two associates to be his henchmen, and he just takes his medal up, and of course, Xavier tries to test out his legs out a bit with this harness, and of course, then catches him. The reason why I'm just not all excited with these issues is because these issues are kind of, well, like I said, they're kind of boring. Yes. And of course, the guy goes around and does whatever he wants. They look around. Scott gets his glasses knocked off again. This is a minor cliche that happens in the X books. Of course, there's a rampage, and these three guys just hang out. There's apparently some rampage happened, some sleazy, some kind of nice club, and these three guys are the only ones that are immune to it because they're the ones who caused it. The X go out, try to stop him. They don't, and they just fight whatever. Of course, the guard mistakes the X-Men as part of the plan. Then the issue ends with him getting the other half of this pendant and putting on this cheesy looking costume. Apparently, Yellow Tiger has now become Kuza-Clan. Yes. Yeah, suspenseful saga. If you're reading these issues, you'd probably be so bored. Yes. Because El Tiger is not the instant. I'm expecting to finding mutant villains. I mean, Locust is kind of interesting as a villain, but the issue made his debut is just so bad. Of course, the Tiger does whatever he wants. Turns against his henchmen. Xavier calls up Jean, and the X-Men go out to retrieve her, and they go to Volcano. Yeah, I'm gonna cut this a little short. Yeah, they do just wander to the jungle, and they fight him, and they take on some kind of giant statue. They destroy the statue. The temple gets destroyed, and Angel gets wounded at the end. That's the only thing really. Angel getting wounded at the end of issue 26 is the only thing that really interesting that happens in these few issues. Overall, I think of these issues are not very good. Honestly, the artwork is actually one of the best things about these issues. Locust is an okay villain. It has an interesting little plot development when it comes to Jean Grey, her going to college. These issues are nothing more than just filler. That's right, filler. There's barely any serious progression in these three issues. You're like, what the heck did Roy Thomas do? I mean, he came off of 4 really good issues, and then he spit out these 3 really bad ones. I mean, El Tiger / Kuza-Clan is not the interesting villain. I mean, I read these issues and I'm just so bored. I mean, suffice to say, for the X-Men Classic era, these issues are just so bizarre. Really, it's like, what? This is the best Roy Thomas can do? But luckily enough, the next few issues, basically, the next 3 issues simply are much better than these 3 issues. Overall, I give combined these issues a 7.5 out of 10. It's really, these issues are just not that good. Really, they really aren't. Alright, that's it for this episode. Stay tuned for episode 13, where I'm going to cover issues 27 through 29. Until then, see you there. Wait, hold on. Before I go, I want to show some artwork from these issues. Yeah, there's really not much change in artwork. I mean, it's still Roy Thomas writing these issues. Let me see here. As far as I can tell, the artwork for 24 was done by Warner Roth. And as far as I know, he did do the next couple issues. Yeah, Warner Roth was still the artist. There was basically no change in creative team. All right, so stay tuned for the next episode. Like I said, till then, see you there. Bye.